Hi, thanks for tuning in today. I hope you're having a wonderful week wherever you are in the world. Look for inspiration for these episodes. Usually what will happen is I will just be going around day-to-day life and I might note something down, or I will record the podcast in the moment. So when I was recording today's and I was looking for inspo, I opened my notes and I was looking through the last sort of entries in my notes, and there's nothing sort of exciting there that I wanted to speak about. So I thought, why don't I just go back to early notes, go back through the years and see what I've captured. Now, the interesting thing is the first note I captured was in 2013 and it was buy shares in Apache. Anyway, I didn't buy the shares, and thank goodness, because I went on to look at their share price over, that was 2013. Okay, so basically they were in 2013 and they've absolutely tanked. They're worth, so I think in 2013 they were worth about $75 a share. Now they're $19.40. So I'm glad I didn't follow my own advice there, or whoever advice that was. Obviously, you know how you have those conversations with people and they're like, oh yeah, buy these shares. I'm glad I didn't follow that advice. But I found this note from 2016, the 19th of December, 2016. This is when I was 5 or 6 months into, we'd moved back from Broome to Brisbane. I'd started this new job. And I don't know what was going on at the end of the year, but I obviously had to reflect on what was going on, because I opened my notes and I wrote down this list of where I work best. What's interesting about this list is that we think we grow, we think we change, but nothing has actually shifted at all, I don't think. And so that was 9 years ago. I'd probably have a very similar shift, although this one was really around employment. So where I work best. Here's my list. Lots of people and variety, people who are passionate about what they do. The place I'm working with has to have purpose, for example, maybe education. There's movement, for example, the ability to walk around a campus, so I'm not in an office building where you can't actually move around. It's deadline driven. Interesting, I wrote that. Clear expectations, not throwaway lines. No drama, which I think is actually rare in any workplace, to be honest. I think that you've got to expect a level of drama. And actually, I think I do like drama. I don't know why I wrote that. Okay, an actual team working on projects together, not individuals lumped together. Yeah, that was interesting because I think we use the word teams we throw that line on, but a lot of the time when you work with organizations, it's not really a team. It is just individuals working on their own little stake, reporting to the same person. But there seems to be oh yeah, we are a team. But then there's there's no, a team is a netball team where you need every player. You cannot score a goal without them. There's reliability, you need them. Whereas a lot of these teams, in inverted commas, are just people working on separate projects, different KPIs, and they don't actually need the interplay of the people within their team, but they just have one reporting manager. So I think that definition, I think we need to be very clear on that definition, particularly when working with teams, is are you a team, or maybe are you a committee, or what is the definition of what you do together? All right, less bureaucracy. I completely agree. I'm allergic to it. More autonomy to do things. A little commute and can drive straight to the office. So yeah, that would be handy. I mean, fast forward today where 70 to 80% of the work that I do is virtual. So definitely got that. Where I can work out in the morning. So I guess where in December 2016, I was working for this global mining contractor. And because of the traffic, if I was to drive during normal hours to get to the office, it would be a 20-minute drive. But if I left at a decent hour, like a 7:30, 8 o'clock, it would take me over an hour to get to the office. So I would get into work at 6:37 every day and leave by about 4 just to try and avoid the traffic. So that's why I was top of mind. But when I first got that job, I was in that role for about 5 or 6 weeks. And what was interesting is before I got that job, I actually was offered another job with Flight Centre. So I was kind of eyeing off this mining company and Flight Centre. And I made this decision to go with the mining company. Then 5 or 6 weeks in, I'm like, did I make the right move? So I contacted the hiring manager of Flight Centre, who we're still friends today, which is amazing. She's just an extraordinary person. But I caught up with her and I'm like, look, I'm not really happy in this role. And then so she matched the mining company's salary. And she was really excited. She's like, oh my gosh, I got the budget approved. And then I said no to the job again. I felt really bad about that. But like I said, didn't burn the bridge, which is awesome. What was attractive about both of these organizations is that they are global. And that was really important for me at the time. Mining in the resources industry, I think, is a really interesting, for Australia, we do slam on the mining and resources industry a lot, but that industry really props up Australia. It's absolutely fundamental to where we are. And one of our biggest assets is our resources. And So I guess I was curious to learn more about that, which is why I stayed. But it was also when I read that book, Pivot by Jenny Blake, where I realized that it wasn't the mining company I was working for that was the issue. It was my attitude towards that. And after reading that book and doing a lot of the work, finding what my strengths are, I then decided to then seek out opportunities versus waiting for them to be handed to me. So that big mindset shift changed everything, and I loved my time at the mining company. So interesting to go back and reflect on that. So maybe this is a prompt for you to make your list. Like, where do you work best? And throw it into your notes. Maybe put it in as a calendar invite to yourself in 12 months' time, just that list, so you can reflect on whether you're doing what you aspired to do. Thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.